You're listening to Intuitive Blueprint, episode 92. Today, we're talking about how impact starts within, having integrity with coaching, and the structure of the problem. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for taking the time to invest in your mind and doing it with me today. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. And if you're brand new, it's nice to meet you. My name is Shanae. I'm your host. I'm a spiritual success and leadership coach, and my obsession is helping coaches just like you master the power of energy so that they can transform into confident, authentic leaders who run their business with ease. I am coming off of a 3 week training. I just got home yesterday. And my goodness, wow, I just feel like I can finally exhale. I went into this year with the goal of launching my first and own coaching certification program. And I've gone through really intensive trainings to get myself up to the caliber of someone who's not only a trainer, but a speaker. And I didn't have to go through this trainer's training, but I'm really glad I did because I've learned so much about myself, how I perform, how I show up in front of an audience, and the shadows that come with that. There's a lot of limiting beliefs that I had to work through, as well as the strategy piece of how to actually teach people. I think there's so many people, including myself, who I decided to teach my spiritual coaching certification a couple weekends ago. And now, after going through this training, I'm like, oh my God, there's a lot that I missed. There is so much more room for improvement. And I learned so much. So I'm so excited because I am officially a certified trainer of NLP at the practitioner and master practitioner level, as well as hypnotherapy, EFT, which is emotional freedom techniques, time techniques, which is my favorite, spiritual success and life coaching, as well as Reiki. So I am officially official, and I cannot wait to start to host certification classes. I'm going to start off with a couple in-person ones here in the Bay Area. We're building a back house, like a back office, so I'll be able to do them like local. And then I'll be doing my first 7-day live practitioner experience in the Bay Area as well. And that's probably going to be in January. And I'll do a whole nother episode on what it would be like to be trained by me and certified by me, and what that entails and what's the process and the details. So I'll do a whole of that. But just to wrap up my trainer's training, I had an incredible time. It was incredibly outside my comfort zone for a lot of things. And I learned, like I said, like the shadow side, not the shadow side, but I was able to, how should I put this? A lot came up. A lot came up that I needed to heal. And so that's always, there's always an opportunity to grow and to get better. And I was faced with a lot of opportunities to challenge myself. And something really tragic happened. My cousin passed away. And so, in the midst of being in this training, I decided to go visit my family and visit my parents. And if you know my story, it's been years and years and years. And so that was its own whole emotional thing. And that's going to have its own podcast episode. So we got a lot being born from my 3 weeks that I was in LA. But today I want to talk to you guys about how your impact starts within and what that means. Another way that I often bring this up to my clients or talk about it is that you cannot take people to the depth that which you have not gone yourself. And I want to talk about that along with the integrity of coaching and what it means to be a coach and how to have integrity with the people that you coach. And last but not least, the structure of the problem. And so this conversation was really born from my time in LA at this trainer's training. Just from the conversations that I had there, I met some incredible, successful powerhouse women. And it was an amazing experience to be around women of the same caliber and with the same goals and dreams and visions. To be honest, sometimes I feel not that I feel unrelatable, but sometimes my visions and my dreams and my goals are so much bigger than, and not, bigger is the wrong word, but I I have huge big goals, and not everyone around me shares that same passion for business. A lot of my friends just have normal regular jobs and that they're passionate about, and they have lives that they're wildly passionate about. But it's different to be in a room full of entrepreneurs who want to help heal the world, and that's really like where I was. And so we were able to have such amazing conversations and really go deep. And so this is where this was born because, someone asked me, how, like, what's the line? We tell people that your first client is going to be 2 to 3 steps behind you. And that's what I tell my clients who are new coaches. Like, you are an expert at what you know right now. And so the people that you're here to help are a couple steps behind you, which means that you have the integrity and the experience to be able to coach them. There's that, right? And that goes along with like your impact is going to start within. Like if you haven't coached yourself or if you haven't been coached, then how effective of a coach do you think that you're going to be? And I say this from experience because when I was going through fitness coaching, I purposefully hired fitness coaches so that I could be coached, so that I could really see how it's done, learn from them, and feel what it's like to have a coach and to be that client on the receiving end. Now, in NLP, this is called modeling, and I didn't know I was modeling before. It's just something that's always naturally occurred to me. I am a learn by doing person. If I want to know how to do something, I'll go and hire someone who's doing what I want to do and I'll model them. It's not copying, it's modeling. It's sort of seeing what their beliefs and their attitudes and their values are and seeing how they do things and then adapting it and making it your own. So there is that, right? Like if you want to be a life coach but you've never had a life coach, then my first thing to you would be like you should go get a life coach because you don't know what you don't know. And as a client, I have a coach. As a client, you experience something so much, you just experience it differently. And like having had a life coach, I know what it's like to be a client, I know what it's like to be on the other end. And then now as a coach, I not only have like an awareness for what my client may be feeling, but I've also been down their path. I've been down in their shoes, which is what the impact starts within. And you can only take your clients to the depth that you've gone. Like that's where that comes from. So there's two parts of this conversation. There's that part, right? It's like your client is 2 to 3 steps behind you. You can only take your clients to the depth that you've gone. But then there's the other part of what is that line? And I'm going to teach you that later about looking at the structure of the problem. And here's the thing, I'm an incredibly experienced coach, but I haven't, personally gone through sexual abuse or sexual trauma. But that doesn't mean I can't hold space and coach someone through that because I can evaluate and know what the structure of the problem is. There is a structure of the problem. There is a structure to success. There is a structure to coaching. And the structure is what I teach in my coaching certification program. And the content, that's all your own. That's all your own experiences. So no, I haven't been sexually abused, but I can know how to hold space and have empathy for someone who is experiencing being triggered by that and working through their own shadow. And I can coach and guide them through that. Just like how one of my private clients is a incredibly successful entrepreneur in the tech industry. And like, she's talking about building her company to like the billions and totally different content than what I do in my business and how I work with people, but I can coach her because I'm focusing on the structure, not the content. So a lot of the structure is like your patterns. So if I can figure out the structure of someone's problem and see what their patterns are, their conditionings, their paradigms, then I can help them because I can understand what to look for and then use my coaching abilities as well as the different techniques and the different techniques that we have in NLP to be able to help the client release whether it's like a negative emotion or blah blah blah, which I'll go into later. I don't want to bring that up right now. So that's the line, and that's how I walk that line. I know the work that I've done on my own being and my own self to be able to have made the transformation that I want to make. And I know that I don't necessarily have to be an expert at um, fashion tech to be able to coach someone through that, or have experienced sexual trauma to be able to coach someone through that. So let's go back to the other side of the conversation. So, how do you have integrity with coaching? I think this comes up for a lot of new coaches, definitely the women inside my mastermind, because a lot of them feel like they have imposter syndrome. They're like, well, I just got certified. I haven't been at this long enough. I don't know if I have the experience. All the experience I have is having been coached myself and healing my own inner child trauma. Okay. I think that if you have healed yourself on some level and you can look back and you can reverse engineer what you did, and you can hold space for someone and have gone through, the certification processes to learn how to do something of that caliber, then I think that you have integrity. And anybody who is questioning whether they are experienced enough or whether they are an imposter usually isn't, because it's usually the people who are not questioning themselves who are. And the fact that you're questioning yourself speaks volumes of your character, right? The fact that you are questioning if you have enough experience or are you the right person for this means that you have an incredible amount of awareness and that you really care and you have empathy and compassion and you don't want to screw people over, nor do you want to perhaps overpromise on something that you don't know if you can deliver. So the fact that you are questioning makes me think that you are indeed that person to coach that person. So that's how you have integrity with coaching. And every now and again there's going to be someone that comes along where what they want support with may be out of your scope of practice, and it might be out of your scope of practice um like professionally, meaning they need a therapist, or they need to go see someone else, they need a referral. It might be that extreme, or it might just be they're looking for support in something that you don't feel like that's your specialty. For example, I can do strategy. I'm really good at business strategy, but it's not my absolute amazing number one thing I'm great at. So, because of that, I bring in people who are experts in strategy into the highest self mastermind container to coach my clients on strategy. Same with money mindset. I'm good at money mindset, but that's not my thing. I didn't go through huge debt and have to really rewire. I mean, I've had to rewire my money mindset, but some people have really gone through the ringer with it, and that is their passion. Okay. That's not my passion. So I then refer out and bring in people who can coach my clients on that. Does that make sense? So that's how you have integrity with coaching. One, you know what you can do, you know what your specialty is, you're not afraid of saying no to clients, and handing them off someplace else where they're going to be better suited. And yeah, that like pretty much wraps it up in a little bow there. Okay. So just to kind of recap, yes, it is true that you can only take your clients to the depth that you've gone. And that's because if you're a client, and this is really, really, really wild. Okay. Listen, you're going to notice that your clients will only change to the extent that you have changed, or they will only heal to the extent that you have healed. It is wild. I oftentimes see my like fitness clients or like my like life coaching clients struggling with the same stuff that I'm struggling with because the world is our mirror, right? And so ever like it's my I am projecting, but also that's what I'm seeing. And so it the other flip side cool part is once you heal stuff, you'll then notice a shift in your clients. It is amazing. It's like so cool. I've seen my clients level up. I've seen them take ownership. I've seen them like really dive deep into their inner child traumas and really taking that time to slow down and to honor themselves and to meet themselves where they're at because that's where what I've done. And it's a method of modeling. They see that and they also, they're going to follow in your energy a little bit. But two, um, it's like this amazing ripple effect. So that's how that works. Now, that's the structure, right? Let's talk about, or that's the content. Let's talk about the structure. There is something called the structure of the problem. And this is what I teach in my coaching certification as well, my NLP practitioner certification. So you're going to get a little taste of it. Um, what I mean by this is that in NLP, we are looking at how someone says something, not what they say. Okay. And coaching, just in general. When I'm coaching my clients, I am not super focused on what they're saying because they could be telling me about their excuses, just the story that's going on in their brain. I am focused on what they're saying and I'm focused on identifying what the structure of their problem is. Okay. So the structure of the problem can be negative emotions, internal parts conflict, limiting decisions, which are limiting beliefs, unresourceful strategies, and there's one more. Oh, values. If there is a like a conflict of values, or their values are not towards what they want and it's away from what they want, which is going to be an Instagram post I'm going to post soon. So that's the structure. That's the basic structure of problems. There's one more in there that I'm forgetting, but that's fine. So the reason why that's important is because if I can figure out what the structure of someone's problem is, I can effectively coach them without having to really dive into the content, right? The content is the context. So the context could either be like sexual trauma or it could be not feeling seen and loved and heard. And the content doesn't matter. I'm just looking for what the structure is. So I'm looking for, are there negative emotions that they need to release? Is there a limiting belief that we need to release? Are there any conflicts, internal conflicts that we need to resolve and integrate? Are there any unresourceful strategies for this that this person is utilizing? Do we need to change their strategies? Do we need to install new strategies? Or does this look like a values conflict? Do we need to elicit their values for this? Do we need to change their away and towards motivation? What do we need to do? So that's how you can then perhaps coach people in subjects that you don't quite have the same experience in, but that's okay because it's not about the content, it's about the structure. I hope that's making sense. So all this to say, have integrity. If you don't feel like you are going to be able to deliver on the experience that your client needs, then you can always refer out. And we all start somewhere. I was I wasn't a very, I mean, I'm not going to say I wasn't a very good coach, but like when I think about my first fitness client back in like 2013, I am so sorry. Like, I am so sorry. Even when I think about my first life coaching client, perhaps, whoa, when did I first start doing life coaching? Like in 2017, like 3, 4 years ago. I'm so sorry. I was doing lots of advice giving. I wasn't asking the right questions. I wasn't effectively holding space. I hope I was present, but I see a much different skill set in me now where I am incredibly present. I can do a 6 to 8 hour breakthrough day and be so present and focused and honed in on the client. Um, I'm so much better at asking the right questions and asking the most powerful question to help the client uncover the answers within herself. And, when it comes to fitness coaching, I'm so much better. I don't do fitness coaching much anymore. But, just 2013 compared to 2017, like a 4 year difference, like I know so much more. And if you are not getting started, this is your sign to get started because the years are going to go by no matter what. Okay. And even if you don't think you're a great coach now, I promise you that there is one person out there that you can help and you can coach them with integrity. And that starts with really committing and doing your own inner work. Okay. If you're in a position where you cannot hire a coach right now and that's what's holding you back, reach out to me. I have incredible coaches in my mastermind who I know would for sure be willing to either, well, I'm not going to say that they're going to be willing to do a couple of free sessions, but what I am going to say is that I have a lot of incredible coaches in my network who I know are looking to expand and who would be so willing to help you and work with you. I know it 100%. So reach out to me. I'd love to connect you guys. And it's not going to be free. I need to like backpedal. I don't want to be on the hook for telling my clients that. And plus, I wouldn't let them do anything for free because their value matters. And there's always a form of reciprocity that can be created. But if that's your one thing that's holding you back, like girlfriend, reach out to me. I'll connect you with people. If you are needing to be certified, if you need to know the skill and don't have that skill yet, reach out to me. I will get you certified. And if it's you are not doing your own internal work yourself, go and listen to like all the podcast episodes we have on Intuitive Blueprint / your highest self and start there. But I think that like if coaching and being a coach and helping others is on your heart, I know that you're meant to do it. And like, how amazing would it be like if in every household we had a coach, a healer, a light worker? Like, how amazing would that be? Think of how much different our world would be if in every single household there was one person who could help with that, help with the communication, help, do some energy healing. I mean, I just, it's incredible. So I'm so excited. That is my vision for my coach certification for my school. I don't have a name for it yet because you guys know me. It takes me forever to name things. But that's my true vision for it. I'm here to integrate and combine the worlds of conscious and subconscious coaching, so NLP, along with energy healing, Reiki. And that's how I've been coaching my private clients as well as my mastermind clients for the last 2 years. And I will never do anything else. I can totally see how we need both and the value in both. And that's why I'm opening up my school. So that's it for me, my loves. I hope that this episode was helpful. I hope that you are able to perhaps see yourself in this episode a bit if you have been wanting to start your coaching business and you're feeling a little bit stuck or behind or you have resistance. If you don't think that you have enough experience yet. And I hope I've given you a perspective shift. You definitely can. You definitely can have integrity with it, be honest, and be kind and compassionate with yourself. And come learn from me so you can learn the structure of the problem. So you can coach anyone. I'm just kidding. I hope you guys have an incredible rest of your week. I'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. Don't forget to be your highest self. Bye for now.